Happy Christmas Eve, everybody, and welcome back to another video. So we're entering the Christmas holidays, and we're going to slow down quite a bit into the New Year's. So just a quick catch up, since I didn't do the box office podcast on a Monday. So I'm doing some catch up here, since if you follow the box office, you probably know these numbers already, and it's widely reported. So let's get on to the new releases last weekend. So we have Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of the Skywalker, the final movie in this latest trilogy. This is the mainline story, by the way. So the movie opened to 177 million, which is a bit lower, quite a bit lower than what I project the movie to open to. I said the movie could probably open somewhere in the 225 million range, because The Last Jedi opened to 220 million, which broke record when it opened. And this movie, the final one, did way less. And for some reason, it could be the poor reviews. It could be that The Last Jedi didn't leave a pleasing aftertaste for moviegoers. It's pretty much a long chase scene in that movie, and I guess the effect from that movie then carry over well to the latest movie, right? So remember, we say, if people like the previous movie, the next movie would get a slight bump, right? But as you can see, it dropped, and could be from The Last Jedi, the effect from The Last Jedi. I mean, there's a lot of things going for this movie, because this is the final movie starring Carrie Fisher, right? This is the last movie in the series. Poor reviews, not poor reviews withstanding, right? 55% on the tomato meter, B+ cinema score. People who saw it, and at least from the online response, generally liked it, right? But I don't think they loved it. So and then of course this is the holidays and all, and there could be a lot of things going on, right? But it's a far cry from the 220 million opening for The Last Jedi. And so far, the domestic gross for Rise of the Skywalker is 206 million, and pulled in an additional 226 million for a worldwide total of 433 million. So it's off to a good start, okay start. It's not The Last Jedi level, but it's still gonna be huge for as the final movie in this the Skywalker saga. All right, number 2 is Jumanji: The Next Level, which is the sequel to Jumanji, starring Dwayne Johnson. It pulled in 26.5 million in the second weekend. Domestic gross so far is 109 million, additional 211 million overseas, for a worldwide total of 321 million. So another Dwayne Johnson hit, with Jumanji, and expect to see a sequel dropping, sometime in the future. All right, let's move on to number 3, which is Frozen 2. It pulled in pretty much 13 million over the weekend. And this fifth weekend, the drop-off is relatively low, about 32% from the previous weekend. And this is an animation targeted toward, the younger kids. So the drop-off is lower than the previous of the movie. I expect, the box office for the movies that, are in theaters to be, the box office to go to, pretty much Star Wars. But Frozen 2 is able to manage to hold on, because, it targeted toward a different crowd. All right, so domestic gross for Frozen 2 is 391 million. Internationally, it pulled in, overseas, it pulled in an additional 719 million for a worldwide total of 1.1 billion. So it's on track to, I guess, surpass the first movie's 1.3 billion. All right, number 4 is the other new releases last weekend, and that is the adaptation of the Broadway musical Cats. This is a movie that I say could open somewhere, in the 15 million range, because, it is a very popular musical, but then again, the reviews comes in, people were ridiculing the the character models, and 17% on the tomato meter, C+ cinema score. Budget is high, 95 million, because of all the special effects and all, and it opened to 6.6 million. Quite a disappointment there. And so domestic growth so far since the weekend and into Tuesday is only about 8 million, and internationally it pulled in an additional 4.1 million for a worldwide total of 12 million. So yeah, this is pretty much a bomb, and I've read that people might just check out this movie because of the terrible reviews. So we'll see if we get any uptick somewhat, but I doubt it though. Normally the box office tend to drop huge. With poor reviews, they don't tend to go up. So yeah, Cats is pretty much the dud of 2019. Alright, number 5 is Knives Out, put in 6.5 million. Drop-off is pretty low, about 29% from the previous weekend. In its 4th weekend already, and domestic gross is about 92 million, and additional 95 million overseas for a worldwide total of 185 million. It's doing quite well. The budget for this movie is only 40 million. Alright, number 6 is Bombshell. In its expansion, added over 1,000 theaters. It pulled in about 5.1 million, and this is a movie about the hostile work environment at Fox during the Roger Ailes era, with Megyn Kelly and others. It's getting well reviewed, right? 97% on the tomato meter. Let's see, 5.1 million in its 2nd weekend. Domestic gross, let's see, domestic gross right now is about 6 million, and it hasn't opened overseas yet, but this is a movie that could get some award nods. It might have gotten some award nods. I haven't been keeping up with the award season, so yeah, you tell me. Alright, number 7 is Richard Jewell. This is the Clint Eastwood movie about the 1996 Olympics bombing down in Atlanta. Main character is Richard Jewell, the security guard that discovered the bomb and warned people about it, but suspicion turned on him because he was in the vicinity, and I guess like the FBI tried to make him into the scapegoat. Alright, so in its 2nd weekend, it pulled in about 2.6 million, 45% drop off from its opening weekend. Domestic gross is about 10 million, and it hasn't opened overseas yet, and I'm not sure if this movie will open overseas, since this is more of a domestic tale, and even if it opened overseas, it might not do that well. Alright, number 8 is Queen and Slim. It is this drama starring Danielle Kaluuya and Jodie Turner-Smith making her debut. This is a thriller about a couple who went out on a date and ended up accidentally killing a police officer, and they went on the run. In its 4th weekend, this movie pulled in about 1.8 million. Let's see, the domestic total is about 37 million. Hasn't opened overseas yet. There's one of this movie that might not do well overseas. But yeah, so that's Queen and Slim. It's getting good reviews, 83% on the tomato meter, A- cinema score. Let's go on to number 9, which is Ford versus Ferrari, pulled in about 1.8 million in the 6th weekend. Let's see, domestic gross is about 103 million, and additional 91 million overseas for a worldwide total of 193 million. And yeah, this is an expensive movie, about 100 million budget. It's on track to break even, but it's not doing as well as Fox hoped. Alright, let's close out the top 10 with the horror movie Black Christmas. Is a remake of the 1974 slasher. In the 2nd weekend, it dropped huge, about 57%, to 1.8 million. And domestic gross is about 7.7 million so far, and an additional 6.4 million for a worldwide total of 14.1 million. And looks like it's going to drop off of the top 10 come next weekend. Alright, so that's it for the box office top 10. Let's move on to the new wide releases this Wednesday, which is tomorrow. We have 2, Spies in Disguise, the latest animation from Fox Studios, and Little Woman, the drama that's based on Louisa May Alcott's novel. Let's start off with Spies in Disguise. Spies Fox Animation, right, which is part of Disney now. Right now it's well reviewed, 71% on the tomato meter. It's about a top spy who turned into a pigeon, and he has to team up with his tech guy, pretty much the Q, right, in in the 007 world, right, to save the world. This movie is open pretty much tomorrow on a Wednesday, and let's go by the 3-day figures, right. This is a movie that I think could probably open about 15 million 3 days, during the 3 days weekend, and for 5 days probably 20 to 25 million. Alright, let's move on to Little Woman. It's directed by Greta Gerwig, like I said, adapted from Alcott's novel of the same name, starring Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Florence Pugh, and Eliza Scanlen as the 4 sisters who came of age during the Civil War. This is one of these small movies, dramas that I don't think would have a big opening. This movie is well reviewed, 95% at Rotten Tomatoes right now, but this is not a movie that I expect to have a huge opening, so 8 million 3 days. So for 5 days, it's probably about 10 million or so. All right, so that's it for this podcast. Have a safe and happy holidays, and we'll see you in 2020. Okay, take care. Bye bye.